Over-ear sports earbuds? Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. Well, let me open this up, you see what's inside. It's the Vankyo Sports Wireless Earbuds Model S05A, and they're pretty cool. Unlike a lot of modern sports earbuds, these actually feature that over-ear hook. That's just part of the design, so there's no way to pop them off, nor would you want to. Super easy to work with. You just sort of put it and start feeding it behind your ear. As you turn it into your ear, then you have that perfect fit and you're ready to go. It's already paired as soon as you've taken it out of the case. I can put the other one in, but let me just hold on to it and tell you a little bit about it. So these feature Bluetooth 5.0. They have what's known as passive noise cancellation, which means you can create some level of acoustic barrier from your ambient noise. But you know, when you're doing sports, if you're doing a run or you're doing a bike ride or something, you don't want to be completely isolated from the sound around you. So these are not full ANC, and that's not a bad thing. Now, for phone calls, they feature CVC 8.0, which is supposed to get rid of a lot of the background noise for the person you're talking to. I found that for phone calls, they were okay, not great. I mean, you know, most of these devices, the microphone is so far away from your mouth that there's just inherent limitations of how good they can sound, but they're entirely functional. If you're in the middle of a run and you need to take a quick call, you can do that. In fact, there are a ton of tap sequences. Let's first look at, here are the tap sequences for when you're listening to music. And then here's an entirely different, fairly complicated set of things you can do when you're on a phone call. That's a little more than my brain can handle, so I'm more likely to pull my phone out to manage some of that, but you might memorize it all and that would be great. And in fact, while we're looking at close-ups, let me give you a nice close-up of the earbud, and let me give you a close-up of the case. And this is a fairly sizable case. It is big, but of course it's big because you have to have space not just for the earbuds, but for the ear hooks that are attached to them. So it is big, it's super light. It will, yes, it can fit in your gym shorts, or I suppose in the back pocket of your yoga pants or something. So not a big deal. Now, Vankyo features that these have deep bass. I didn't really find that. I find that they are more mid-range and high oriented. They're perfectly fine for music, but these are great for podcasts or audiobooks or anything like that. So obviously they sound really good for phone calls because it's that same frequency range. You can mess with your EQ on your source device if you really want to try to get some more bass. It's all right. They are, and this is really nice, I need to take that one out. They are IPX7, so they're completely waterproof. So theoretically, you could wear these while you're swimming. I don't know that I would. I think the idea of listening to music while I'm swimming is a little bit disconcerting, but you know, you can try that. Certainly if you're out for a run and it starts raining or something, you're totally in good shape, nothing to worry about there. Now, where these really shine is they have really long battery life. These earbuds by themselves have 7 hours of playback, depending on the volume of the music you listen to, and then you get 4+ additional charges out of the case. So that's 35 hours. That's almost a full week of nonstop listening without having to go back to the wall charger, which you will need, and it's a USB connection, and of course this comes with a USB-C charging cable, but you will need to bring your own actual power charge device, box, plug, wall outlet, whatever you want to call it. You can of course also plug these into your car or into your computer, anything that has USB 3 on the other end, and these will charge just fine. So touch controls, I already talked about those. We've talked about the quality on a phone call. They have 0 latency. So if you want to use these while you're watching Netflix on your iPad and you're doing a 5-mile run on the treadmill or something, totally fine. You're not going to have any issues at all with things getting out of sync. It's really nice. They also feature Qualcomm's Aptx, which is great for a lot of devices. It's great for Android phones. Sadly, for my iPhone, the iPhone does not support Aptx. It's AAC. These do not have AAC, but they still sound good. So, you know, Obviously, having an Aptx source device is going to give you better sound, but it's not a huge difference. So it's worth, if you have Aptx, it's great to know this will actually connect and use it, but if not, they're still entirely functional. So that's really pretty much everything I have to say other than the price. I have to say that they're nice and comfortable. They come with 3 other sizes of ear tips, and as with anything you're putting in your ear, try different size ear tips to get the best results. It certainly makes a big difference with bass and with the acoustic insulation, so that you have a little bit more of that ambient noise canceling. I will note on the Amazon listing for this particular product, it does say active noise cancellation, but I see no information on the product or its manual that there is any actual ANC. I think that might be an error, but I think it's important for you to know and not get confused. So we obviously need to talk about the sound quality, and let me just talk a little more about that, because they sound nice. They have a nice sound stage. There's a nice clarity. The highs aren't too bright, so you could turn it up pretty loud, which is good, because I found on my iPhone I had to turn it up pretty darn loud to be able to enjoy my music or my podcast if I was in a noisy gym environment. So that's something to know. So there's not a lot of range there or headroom if you want it to be really like, soul thumping heavy metal or something while you're in a really noisy gym, then these might not have the volume capability that you seek. But then again, you could give them a try and see. Now, otherwise, price. But before we get to price, I'm going to ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate that. And honestly, the more people that subscribe, the more leverage I get for companies and getting gear. And I am really honest in my reviews, so you can get the straight scoop from me. Let me put these back in the case. They fit really well, and the whole thing works great. And then on the front, there's 2 little edge LEDs that tell you that they're charging, and then there's 3 middle LEDs that show you the status of the battery in this little case. So I really like all that information, and I like that even right here I can see there's 2 tiny green lights. I'm sure you can't see it. Tiny green lights that tell me that both earpieces are currently charging in the case. And this whole thing is small, slim, ridiculously light, and easy to slip into your pocket. So honestly, what's not to like? So the price. This is the Vankyo Sports Wireless Earbuds S05A, and they're $49.99, but when I checked Amazon just now, there's a 30% discount available, which makes them $34.99, which is a pretty darn good deal for these. These are really nice, and I like the over-the-ear earbuds for sports and physical activities, because I really hate having to constantly stop and reposition the earbuds, which is doubly a problem when you have the touch pads, because now you're actually triggering different events. Probably not what you want. So definitely one worth checking out. And with that, I'm getting back to my workout, which means I'll catch you in my next video.